Greetings! It is I, snipermanelevenonine, and today we are here to discuss the latest developer blog for Project Zomboid, talking about what is going to be in the crafting update Build 42. And I'm super excited because I read some of this stuff, guys, and it blew me away. And now I know most of you have probably already read this, but this is for those who don't like to read and like to let the content creators do the hard work and read for them. Hey, that's what I'm here for. I don't like to read either, but when it comes to Project Zomboid, dude, I'll read it all day. But anyway, I'm going to be reading this today, and we're going to be discussing some of the stuff that they said that's going to be in Build 42. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Crafting goal. Our goal with crafting in Build 42 is to be able to fill out the tech tree to such an extent that a group of players could, in theory, spawn on a map with nothing but wilderness and a lot of perseverance and time, build up to a late medieval community without looting a single building. Medieval, you say? I like! This will involve multiple tiers of crafting stations for numerous crafting disciplines, and an interwoven web of recipes required to progress to a higher tech station, and items that require the use of multiple crafting professions. If you've played any of the primitive tech hardcore Minecraft mod packs that revolve around slowly climbing a tech tree of independent recipes, then you'll know what to expect. Although, obviously, with our trademark PC realism angle, everything detailed here is a work in progress and could change, but the long and short of it is that each profession will have workstations that are required to make items/subparts. These stations can be upgraded to gain access to more and or better items. Professions we are planning are also dependent on each other. For example, to make a piece of leather armor, hide needs to be obtained by a butcher or a hunter. The leather worker refines the hide and crafts the armor piece. The blacksmith provides armor scales to be sewn into the armor and possible a needle. The tailor provides cloth inner linings for the armor piece and thread for the leather work to sew with. Finally, the workstations required to do these crafts are built by a carpenter/tinkerer. On top of this lies the fact that this is a game set in modern age. So, on top of the tech tree, we will sprinkle all the modern items that can be used to enhance on the late medieval tech, provide shortcuts or improvements, and provide a mixture of modern and more primitive tech together. Realistically, in practice, a lot of early teching up may be skipped if players have access to workstations or materials they have looted. But the option to go fully from scratch will be there for those who want it. Crafted materials will be there to keep things spinning once old equipment has started to rust and break, or to those who've come to a long-lived server where that sort of loot is no longer spawning or available. On top of this, we will start to add diminishing returns on a lot of technology found in the world. Generators will only repair so many times, their maximum conditions slowly creeping down, and once we have alternatives available, unlikely in Build 42, we can look at how gasoline might start to go bad after many years. The mechanics will slowly play a game of attrition with the loot on the map over time, but instead of this being a problem, the new crafting options will allow long-term server players to embrace the fall and start looking to more primitive solutions to their ongoing survival. Our intention here is to allow you to play through the full fall of society as seen in various long-running comics and TV shows. Clearly the different settings, it'll be tricky to pull off, but we are excited about putting it into action. We've had a many years later map sitting in Xenix's cool challenge map for a rainy day library that we'll be using for testing once the crafting update leaves the design phase and starts being integrated too. It will likely be available as a playable challenge map when the time comes. So as you can see, just from that little bit, the devs are making PZ even more realistic, and I love this fact because, as they've mentioned, we all know who've been playing PZ for years. The mid to late game, there's not really much else for us to do. We haven't really been able to advance or anything like that. Basically, once you get a base and you get walled in, you get some crops going, that's basically it. But with this Build 42 update crafting, we're going to have so much more to be able to do, and we're going to be able to actually feel like we're in a survivor truly in the apocalypse, trying to build up our own little paradises in the wasteland. Okay, so a diversion from what we said originally. While designing the new crafting update, it became frustratingly clear that while trying to create a comprehensive crafting tree with all the options a low-tech community would have open to them, there's one thing that kept coming up. Animals are used a feckin' lot. By pushing animals into or beyond the Build 43 NPC update, we were basically removing all animal produce from any crafting design to omit them and still go ahead with the work would be setting it off on creaky foundation. Leather alone is used so much, it'll be a huge mistake not to have it and have it featured in the overhaul's DNA. So we flip-flopped on this. That's just how it goes sometimes. We still could not release NPC code with the Build 42 update for the reasons discussed in our 22 and beyond blog post. However, it's clear that we'll need to get animal husbandry and elements of hunting in there in some form for our crafting update to have its full potential realized. So we've hit upon a compromise. We'll have hunting and animal husbandry in Build 42. However, we'll be doing some makeshift AI and behaviors that'll likely not have the same capabilities that will be possible with NPC behavior code. Our plan is to release with a more basic behavior set, which, let's be honest, won't hurt the realism of cows trail much, and replace said behaviors with the full NPC build in Build 43. Here are some in-game bovine entities coded by RJ and modeled by Martin from one of our early design tests. Now guys, I don't know about you, but those freaking cows look amazing, and I can't wait to be able to grab some cows up and do some animal husbandry, breed them. I could be farmer sniper. It would be amazing. It gives you the option to be able to have your own cattle and stuff like that, and really make yourself a good food source. And I can't wait to see how it's going to be put in. Hunting mechanics may also be cut down severely from what we ultimately envisioned. We're viewing this primarily as a minimal viable product to be able to introduce a supply of the crafting materials required for our tech tree and not to be considered our final promise system. This will result in some work that's wasted between the two builds. However, it's the only way we can see forward without designing a tech tree that's more limited and doesn't reflect our game's realistic angle players have grown to love. Needless to say, animals will likely be pretty dumb, even by animal standards. They just need to be in there, moving about in some fashion and respond somewhat appropriately. Though we'll do as much as we can without spending too much time on work that'll ultimately have to be redone. So you're a burger flipper, yeah? There aren't too many Spiffo restaurants around anymore. We'll be redesigning the profession system to have expiry dates and introduction dates to accommodate for servers that may progress years beyond a single lifetime since the apocalypse occurred. If someone is born 10 years after society fell, they aren't going to be categorized by a pre-apocalypse profession. It ceases to make sense anymore. We'll be introducing many professions that are specific to more low-tech societies that will unlock as the apocalypse progresses, and those professions become more likely to be characters' background. We'll also be locking off pre-apocalypse professions based on the likely age of someone holding that profession at the point of the apocalypse. Sandbox solo players will be able to crank up the years since the apocalypse to take advantage of these for themselves from the game start if they should desire. There will be a crossover. A butcher, carpenter, or farmer fit into both. But old world concepts will cease to make sense going into the future, where a leather worker or blacksmith profession will come back into fashion. Likewise, instead of being a fireman or a veteran, you're a scavenger or some form of safe zone militia. Current planned professions related to the crafting overhaul include butchers, leather workers, herbalists, brewers, stoneworkers, potters, carpenters, tinkers, blacksmiths, tailors, farmers, fishers, and hunters. Affinities to encourage teamwork and to avoid players getting through stuff too quickly, though this will clearly be alterable in single player sandbox settings so as to not exclude solo players from playing with the new crafting. We will be introducing affinities. This may be in addition to replace the current skill XP bonuses offered by professions and traits. A profession or trait may grant affinity with various other skills tangentially related to the profession chosen. There may be an option to choose one more additional affinity within the character's creation. Affinities represent all the general knowledge and skills related to a profession, or just a general conjugative aptitude that makes the character generally better at learning tangentially related skills and craft. It will only apply to crafting related skills anyone can get better at using an axe, sneaking, or fitness level. However, learning something that's not the character's affinity, what they are naturally, or due to lots of experience better at learning, will suffer a severe XP gain debuff. It will just be not the sort of thing they are good at. And while they can get better over time and reach some functional level of usefulness, It'll be a long, long haul they are unlikely to master before they are eaten by a zombie. As such, they be best off focusing on what they are themselves good at. This will mean that while a player may be able to perform several jobs within a community, no one person will be able to skill up to be a 10 at everything. There will be skills they already start at a decent level on, and others they will be able to skill up relatively quickly. There will be others that are just not in their wheelhouse and are best left to someone else. This will encourage diversification within a community and discourage the meta, pushing players towards a small subset of professions. It'll also reduce the likelihood, on default settings at least, that a small community will be able to produce everything required to thrive. This will encourage trade between communities, and if you're able to offer something others can't, it may keep you safe from any more hostile presences on the map. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds freaking amazing. I mean, can you imagine being able to have a group of NPCs, have a group of survivors, and say you guys have good builders and they need shelter? They'll be like, all right, well, we need to keep these guys around and we'll have a momentary peace because you have people that we don't have. And I think that's really freaking cool. I can't wait to see how that's implemented. When all the above, apart from early work on our basic animals, remains in design phase. Build 42 is not imminent, and we expect there to be many patches to Build 41 before then and now. We are going into detail to redress our early accidental misdirection on animals, and B, to hear the thoughts of the community on where we're going. There's also many other things going on elsewhere in the game, not least some new hires. So basically, guys, that is it. We're going to be able to breed the animals and be able to grow our cattle flock. And we're going to be able to have a lot more secure food income because of this. And just imagine when all this comes and we can actually, NPCs are added in and stuff like that. I'm really feeling like this is starting to turn into The Walking Dead. I mean, like, this is the most Walking Dead game I've ever played, honestly. It's so in-depth, and being able to live further in the apocalypse. Can you imagine being a survivor that survived for like 10 years? And I know most of us, we can't really survive that long. The most I've ever survived was a year, and I was really careful. But I mean, I think it's a really cool addition that the devs are putting this in there, because it's really cool that we're actually going to be able to be a hardened survivor, and if we do manage to survive for that long, we can build stories in every single world that we load up. So who knows? You might be able to create a medieval society. You know, you might be able to be a group of raiders, and then you go around and demand tribute from other groups. Just who knows what is going to happen. I mean, with the way it sounds really in depth. I think it's possible. And you can only imagine what the modding community is going to do with this. I mean, mods are going to be insane. Who knows what they're going to do? I'm just excited to see the future of PZ. And from what it sounds like written here, it sounds pretty freaking bright. But anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to read some of the things the devs said are going to be in Build 42. I'm super excited, and I can't wait to see what they got up their sleeve. I really want this to be released as soon as possible, obviously. But you know what? As usual, devs, take your time, as you've always done. That's why this game is so good. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please snipe that like button, because when you snipe that like button, that shows the YouTube algorithm that you like this video, and that will help me by getting that video out there to others, so hopefully that will bring them to my channel, and they too can snipe that like button. And don't forget to subscribe as well, and click that bell icon so you can see when I post more videos like this. If you'd like to support me and my goal of being a full-time YouTuber, please head on down in the description, click my Ko-Fi link, and you can support me over there. If you'd like to chat with me and others who support the channel, my Discord link is also in the description below. Click that, come over there and chat with us sometime. And with that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Peace!